All right, so we're back with part 2, State of Florida versus Travis Rudolph. Dominique Jones is testifying. If you missed part 1, the link will be below. Won't waste any time. Let's go ahead and jump right into it.
So, your brother, do you recognize the friends that he's with?
Yes, he's been friends with them since 8th grade.
And were you the kind of sister that was involved enough in your brother's life so that you would know his friends?
Yes, we are close, all of us.
Okay. So you were close with not just your brother, but who else can you see in this frame?
Tyler, Sebastian. Chris was kind of new to me personally. I wouldn't say to their friendship, but to me, he was kind of new.
So your closest relationships, obviously your brother, and then Sebastian and Tyler.
Correct.
Okay. And on the day of this incident, you said they all knew about your surgery?
Yes.
And did you at some point communicate with your brother about what had happened between you and Mr. Rudolph?
Yes.
Is that the reason they were there?
Correct.
I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the messages that were communicated, and if we could stop this exhibit, that's fine. Thank you. Yeah, that would be great. You can probably do it on top. So the jury's already seen some messages that came in through your brother where you were communicating with him something about shooting his up. Do you remember sending that message?
Yeah, and I just want to clarify that if I can.
Sure.
Well, that's not the proper objection, but it is going to be a narrative, so you're going to have to...
I will ask a question.
Thank you.
Tell the members of the jury what you meant.
Okay, so sometimes you get very upset, and sometimes you say things that you really genuinely don't mean. And if I can go back in time and not say that, 100%, 1,000,000%, I would. Because just like I love my brother, I love Travis as well at the time. And I would never want to see nothing bad happen to neither one of them. So it was a horrible choice of words that I should have never said. And I take full accountability and full responsibility. If the situation never happened, the words would have never meant anything. But since it did, it's like a stigma on me, kind of, because I said those words. But my adrenaline was just rushing because of the incident that just occurred, and I did make a wrong choice of words, and I can stand up and I can say I do feel guilty about that, and I was incorrect about that.
No, it wasn't just a poor choice of words. That was an order, Dominique. You got emotional and angry after you saw the other woman in his phone and you got mad. You yelled, you threw his phone, smashed his PlayStation and his belongings, then tried to throw bricks at his window. You put hands on him multiple times. It's all on camera. She even hit him in the head with a liquor bottle. You did all of that, Dominique, and it wasn't enough? They should have called the police on you, but they didn't. Then it was you who contacted your brother and his friends, who you also call your brothers, didn't tell them anything about what you did, and told them to go shoot his ass up. Not only did you tell them to do it, but they showed up to the man's house after midnight in hoodies with guns. And 2 out of 4 of those guys got shot. One of those 2 passed away. No, that wasn't a poor choice of words. That was action, Dominique. I still don't understand why this prosecutor went after Travis and not Dominique and her brothers. Travis was almost given multiple life sentences for this. You caused all of this. And luckily, Travis was found not guilty. But you're still responsible and you should be held accountable by the law. Not yourself.
100%.
Do you think at any point after sending that message that your brother would actually shoot Travis? If you know.
Overruled.
So I can speak?
Yes.
So, no, you're fine. So when I got to the house, Keyshawn was still there. I don't know if everyone knows that. And he did not bring his gun. So I knew for a fact that if you're not going to bring your gun, how are you going to shoot someone?
And you knew your brother had a license to carry a firearm.
Yes.
And you said that he did not bring his gun. How did you know that?
Because he literally, like, when I got there, he's like, you and Travis are tripping. Like, y'all are doing too much. Like, you know how relationships are. Like, people can see out better than you can see in, if that makes sense.
Huh?
You get heated in a relationship and you do things in a relationship, but other people might look at it and be like, you guys are just overly reacting, or you guys are overly tripping. So when I got there, his response to me was just like, you guys are tripping. Like, it's not this serious. Like, I'm about to just go over there and, like, holler at him, because he felt like he had that relationship with him. So his gun was on his chest drawer, which I've stated several times, and I've seen it before he left the house.
Yeah, Dominique, you're trying to take up for your brother now. But did you forget about that text message that you sent to 4 of them in a group, telling them to shoot his ass up? So yeah, I really don't want to hear what your brother said. I don't believe it. But based on those messages, we all saw that you worked up those other guys. You put the battery in their backs. One of them even responding to your messages, saying that Travis was a dead man walking.
Did your brother have any other firearms to your knowledge?
No.
So when he left the residence, was that the one in Delray?
Correct.
Your brother was not armed?
No.
And Dominique is only speaking for her brother, which is also questionable. One, because she's a liar. But how would she know that the other 3 men didn't have guns? All 3 of them are part of that same group message, the one she sent them ordering that attack on Travis.
Okay. Did you check on your brother throughout the night to see what had happened between him and Travis, if he actually talked to him?
When I started calling, nobody was answering. So I'm on the phone, like, with one of my good friends, and I'm just like, they probably went to go see some girls or something. I'm never thinking in my brain at this moment in time that anything like this will happen, because, like I said, I'm in a relationship with this person. I love this person. I would never do anything like this to his family. So I'm just personally thinking, like, okay, they probably talked and it's squashed out, because it's hours after at this point. So I'm thinking, like, it's just squashed at this point.
If I may approach a witness with state 17, it's going to be an excerpt from her phone extraction, her call list for the relevant days, April 6, 2021 through April 7, 2021.
You may. Say again? Sure. These are not the documents that we went through?
No, they are.
All right. Very well.
Okay, Judge. So I believe.
So yes, you may approach. Go ahead.
Thank you.
And thank you. And that's admitted into evidence without objection. And what was the number again?
17.
Thank you. State 17.
Thank you. Could you tell us whether or not you recognize that as your phone's call log from the time period April 6, 2021 to April 7th, 2021, probably even a little bit into the 8th?
So what, this is just me basically calling people?
I'm just asking you, do you recognize that as yours?
I don't recognize this document at all.
So I know you didn't create the document. I just wanted to know if this has your information on there.
Okay, yeah. That's
Okay.
my name and email and my phone number.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Now, you mentioned that you made several calls on the day of this incident. What happened to the calls related to that? Did you make all those calls on FaceTime, regular phone connection, or any other apps? Do you recall?
I don't recall.
So if some of the calls are not on this particular phone log, it doesn't mean that you didn't make that call, correct?
Correct.
Now, did you ever delete any calls?
No, and I gave my phone
All right.
when asked.
I will talk about that in a little bit.
Okay.
She's such a liar. The police clearly caught her deleting messages. They figured that out when they saw the messages that she sent by looking at the other guy's phones. So yeah, she deleted it from her phone, but they still saw the messages in the other phones. And we all know why she deleted those messages. She knew that she was the one who sent the guys over there and told them to attack Travis.
Did you delete anything at all from your phone prior to handing over your phone to law enforcement?
Yes. So once I realized Travis actually shot at them, I deleted the message where I said shoot his shit up, because now it looks ridiculous that this actually happened and then I said that message.
No, because now they caught you red-handed.
And were you upfront with the fact that you had deleted messages when asked?
Yeah, I told her.
You told the detective on the case?
Yeah.
And when were you asked to turn over your phone?
Whenever they asked me to turn it over, and I said, they asked me to turn it over, and I said, I think next day I turned it over. Okay. I'm not sure the exact day. It was a while ago.
So it wasn't a situation where you're asked for the phone and 10 days later you're turning it over?
No. When they asked me for the phone, I gave them the phone. It was just a matter of getting to them because I lived far at the time.
Are they trying to insinuate that because she took the phone in the next day that she didn't delete anything else? Miss Prosecutor, ma'am, it doesn't take 10 days to delete stuff from your phone. And I'm not buying it. Dominique is not some honest person. She knew the police already saw the messages. So miss me with this "I'm so honest and innocent" stunt that she's trying to pull.
Did you ask a friend to take it for you to the
police department? So since I couldn't make it over there, I asked my friend to bring it. I gave it to her and she brought it to the detective.
And did your friend live closer to where the detectives were?
Correct.
I think we all know the real reason why she had her friend take her phone to the police. She was thinking that they were going to arrest her. She didn't want to take any chances of being caught off guard. So she had her friend, the third party, act as a buffer between her and the police.
Did you give consent for your phone to be downloaded and to be searched through?
Yes.
And they didn't have to obtain a search warrant to get into it?
No. She asked me for my phone. I gave her my phone. I just left it at that.
Now, on that phone were several text threads with different people in Mr. Rudolph's family. Do you recall that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
I'm going to be approaching the witness with states 18, identified as Dominique and Daryl's text messages, Judge. I believe that's without objection.
All right. State 18 with yes, no objection. Thank you. Thank you.
States 19, text messages between Dominique and Tyranny.
Thank you.
And states 21, messages between Dominique and Miss Linda.
Okay. Thank you.
And I believe you were granting me permission, Judge, to approach?
I did. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm handing you the first item, states 21. Could you identify whether or not that's a message between yourself and Travis Rudolph's mom, Miss Linda Rudolph?
This is Miss Linda.
Okay. And to the best of your recollection, is that the communication that you had on the date of this incident?
Correct.
Okay. That was captured, of course, in text message. All right, this is not a call log.
Yes, so I think I spoke to her first prior to this.
Okay, so you called Miss Linda and then these messages?
Correct.
Okay, and that's an accurate reflection as far as you can recall of the interaction that you two had via text message?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Then the next set of messages identified as states 19. Could you identify who you're communicating with in that text thread?
Tyranny.
And so that's Mr. Rudolph's sister? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, and did you also call Tyranny on the day of this incident to try to talk to her about what had happened between you and Mr. Rudolph?
Yes.
And are these text messages a result of what happened after that telephone call?
Correct. So we spoke first, and then she sent me this first blue text message. And I just said, love, I don't have to say much.
Okay.
And I said, call my mom if you want to talk about anything else.
All right. And does the conversation flow back and forth between the two of you? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And that accurately, as far as you can recall, captures a text message conversation between you and Mr. Rudolph's sister.
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Dominique is very toxic, but also childish. Damaged his property, put hands on him, hit him in the head with an alcohol bottle, then told him that she was going to send her brothers over there. Doubled down and tripled down on it by calling his mother and his sister, and repeated the same threat. She told them too that she was going to send her brothers over there. Then while texting back and forth with his mother, Dominique told Travis's mother to call her mother if she wanted to talk more about it. I'm sorry, this goofy evil witch involved all the family members and all of her brothers, the friends, everybody into this nonsense. It's just stupid.
And finally, if you could identify who you're communicating with in this series of text messages.
This is DJ.
And DJ again is Mr. Rudolph's brother, Daryl. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And again, are these communications that you're having with Mr. Daryl Rudolph on the day of this incident?
Yes.
And to the best of your recollection, does this accurately reflect those communications between the two of you via text message?
Correct.
All right. Thank you again. And permission to publish, Judge?
You may. Well,
I will publish each. It's 3 exhibits. They're not very lengthy.
all right, very well.
Let me start first with States 21. And Ms. Jones, there appears to only be 2 messages in your communications with Ms. Linda Rudolph that day. Is blue you or green you?
Green is me.
Okay, so then blue would be Miss Rudolph.
Correct.
All right, and you're hearing from her, I don't know what up with you and Travis. I'm not home. I have not raised him to disrespect any woman. I love you like my own daughter. If he not doing right by you, moved on. I talk with him when I get home. You both are grown. I let you calm down and talk later with you. Do you recall receiving that message?
Correct.
His mother is like, okay, if he cheated on you and you're not happy, move on. Y'all are not kids. You're both grown. Dominique was really acting like a child. What was she calling his mother for? I think it's about time for Dominique to grow up, and she should grow up in jail.
Did you call Miss Rudolph and threaten her?
No, I would never do that. I never threatened her.
Okay. And so this communication was you telling her about what had happened between you over the phone and she responding this way?
Correct.
Okay. And then your response, he picked the wrong one. That's all I'm going to say, or
Yes.
I'm going to say. What did you mean by that?
I just meant in the entire situation of him cheating and things like that, like, I'm not the girl that's going to go for it. Like, we're done, basically, is what I meant.
Okay.
I would never threaten her. She was like a mom to me, literally, as you can see in the message.
Meaning that you respected her and you would never disrespect her.
100%. Overly respected her.
Wow, what a way to show respect for someone you saw as a mother. You sent other guys to her house to shoot the S up. That's respect?
Okay. Moving now to States 18, your communications. Actually, if I could go first to... Yeah, let's do 18. Communications that you identified as between you and Daryl Rudolph. Again here, can you identify whether or not you are green or blue?
I am green.
All right. So the first message is green, and it appears you say, listen, love, you don't want problem. Get your sister TF. What does that mean? Off my phone. You dead ass don't want problems with me. What is LMAO?
Laughing my ass off.
On my dead ass grandma, I really shake some Stop it.
Yes.
What is going on there?
I'm frustrated. I'm mad. Tyranny's threatening me, talking about my brothers are going to get killed. Like, I'm just frustrated and I'm upset and I'm mad. So I'm saying I stopped. You can see, like, I just stopped texting because I'm like just trying to calm down from the whole situation. Even that's the same reason why I stopped texting his mom, because I'm not trying, like, we're family. You know what I mean? Family go through things. Like, I'm looking at it in that aspect. So, like, yes, sometimes you say things that you really don't mean and you don't mean it in that context. But, like, at this point, I'm just really, really frustrated about everything that has happened and occurred.
You notice how every time we see these crazy messages or evidence of her threatening somebody or obviously being in the wrong, she goes back to we're family, and sometimes you say stuff you don't mean. One, you're not family. As I said before in part 1, Dominique was married to another man that she didn't tell Travis about, while she's up here talking about she's not the one. She's the one who called his mom and sister, threatening Travis, talking about she was sending her brothers over there. Tyranny, that's Travis's sister, was only responding to her, telling Dominique if she sent her brothers over there to attack her younger brothers at the house with her mother, her brothers would not make it out alive. And then Dominique is trying to make it seem like Tyranny was the aggressor, or Tyranny was threatening her, and all she did was match her energy. Yeah, Tyranny said that her brothers will defend themselves if you sent goons to their front door. Funny how Dominique is so innocent and everybody else is erratic and the aggressor.
So then you get a response from Daryl that this DJ, is that what you called him?
Yeah, DJ.
Okay. Call my phone, Dominique. Was that an encouragement to call you instead of texting?
Correct.
And then the next message, I tried to stop y'all, Dominique. Why you ain't tell them the truth? Them N-words, dead ass wrong for pulling up at my mama crib trying to jump my little bro.
They were all wrong. And all 3 of the surviving guys should be in jail right now. But Dominique was wrong too. How do you hit somebody in the head with a bottle and then send 4 men to shoot their ass up, all over a lie that you're telling them and the information that you're leaving out on purpose?
Or brother.
I just want to emphasize jump.
Okay. I don't need you.
Well,
There wasn't a question.
was there a question?
I haven't asked one yet, Judge.
All right, so ask a question, please. Overruled. Go ahead.
So was that a response that you received from DJ?
Correct.
Okay. And then he keeps sending messages. Is that correct?
Correct.
I tried to, I'm sorry, I already read that one. So then the next one was my mama crib.
Mm-hmm.
And did you get the impression from these messages that Daryl was upset about the fact that any altercation had happened at Mrs. Rudolph's residence?
I got the impression that he understood what was going on from those messages you just read.
All right. Then the next set of messages also from Daryl Rudolph, is that correct?
Correct.
The I don't know who them N-words is and what the you and Travis got going on, but I don't like how you got them N-words to disrespect my mama crib.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you, my mama crib? Is he talking about the residence?
The residency that they all live in.
Okay. And then the other message, Dominique, on some real forget what you and Travis got going on. I understand, but them N-words, I swear on my life, they disrespected my mama crib. And again, what are you understanding from these messages? It's a communication, Judge.
Sorry?
It's a communication. It's what this witness is understanding from the communications.
Overruled. Well, that's right. She can say
That's what I was
how
gonna
she
say.
interpreted the message that he sent to her. So yeah,
That's what I asked, Judge.
And that's what I was going to answer.
overruled. Go ahead.
So how did you interpret this message?
I basically interpreted, he was just saying like, my brother came. Now I'm starting to understand who all came there because he's saying more than one person. So I'm interpreting that more than one person had came to the Rudolph residence.
Again, she's lying. She sent those messages to 4 different guys, all in a group, her brother and his 3 friends, all in a group chatting and lying to them about Travis. She told them to go over to his mother's house. Everybody knows, they saw the evidence. She's the one who sent them over there. All this lying is disgusting. She knew it wouldn't just be one person going over there.
Now at this point, to your knowledge, had a shooting occurred? Did you know that?
Not at all. I did not know a shooting occurred. I'm going to be 100% so honest with you. I even called Daryl when I was at the hospital because I'm not thinking that Travis shot them.
Why would you be at the hospital if you didn't know anybody got shot? I'm sorry, this is just pathetic. And this prosecutor is also disgusting. This case, her witnesses, very stupid and sloppy.
Okay. So at 12:42 a.m. on the morning of April 7, 2021, when this message is coming to you from Daryl Rudolph, you were unaware of the fact that Sebastian had been shot, Tyler had been shot, any of that at all?
Completely, because in the previous message it said jump. So I'm thinking maybe they got into a scruffle, whatever. But I'm not thinking anything with like gun violence happened at all.
So just to be clear, what is a scruffle?
I don't know. Maybe they got into an argument. Maybe I literally did not know, but I knew I sent him over there to talk, and I know how calm Keyshawn is. So I wasn't really him saying bringing all these over. I started thinking like, what's going on? Okay, so other people had came there. Okay, so what's going on? That's when I started trying to understand the messages a little bit more.
Dominique, you know you didn't send those guys over there just to talk. You sent them over there to shoot his ass up. That's what it said in the message. And one of the guys responded to you that Travis was a dead man walking. You're the one who sent all those guys over there and ordered violence.
Were you surprised that your brother went with his friends?
They're always together.
So it wasn't a shock that he went with other people?
It wasn't a shock. It wasn't like a gang up thing trying to, no, not at all. They're always together. Like, they're always at the house together. They go places together. So no.
All right. So at some point you write back to Mr. Daryl Rudolph to stop writing me. I don't know what you're talking about. Please leave me alone. What's
I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm confused. I don't know there's a shooting. I don't know that they got into a fist fight. I know how my brother is. He did not bring no gun. I'm not thinking that Travis is going to shoot a gun at him. So at this point, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm like, there's no point for us to argue. The only thing for us to do right now is both calm down and keep it like that.
You see how after she caused all this and sent those crash dummies over to the Rudolph house, she's now acting like she was the adult in the room, and all of a sudden Daryl, Travis's brother, should calm down? Basically telling us that he was the one overreacting. After she sent those guys over there, they jumped them, and Travis unloaded on them. I'm telling you, this level of manipulation will get you deleted out here. And that's exactly what happened to her brother's friend, Sebastian.
all right? So you get another response from Daryl Rudolph. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's nah, fuck that shit, bro. I saw you as a sister. Them N-words came to my mama crib where I lay my head trying to jump my little bro in front of my mama. Fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Question. What does jump my little bro mean?
I guess fist fight.
Is that a slang?
Jump is a term used as fighting.
Okay. And that is what you understood it to mean.
Correct.
Okay.
She knows jump doesn't just mean fighting. It's not one-on-one. It means multiple people fighting one person.
Did Daryl also send another message? I would have done the same for my sister, but the way that situation was handled was wrong as f- and know it them N-words about my mama, and to it, it's a wrap. What did you take that to mean?
I'm going to be so honest. I'm not really knowing what's going on. I'm reading these messages while he's typing them, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm just trying to start putting, I'm on the phone with my friend, so I'm trying to start putting two and two together. I'm reading her the messages. I'm like, he's saying all this stuff. Daryl keeps texting me, things like that. I'm really not understanding until I get the message that Tyler's in the hospital. That's when things start clicking for me a little bit.
Now, what is Mr. Rudolph, Daryl, referring to here as I would have done the same for my sister? What is he talking about?
Because he's seen how Travis slammed me on the ground twice, and he was trying to stop him. So he's basically saying he would do the exact same thing that go see about the situation for his sister, like anybody would.
So you respond to Daryl Rudolph, is that correct?
Yes.
You say, DJ, stop writing me. Nothing needs to be said between us anymore. I will never talk to y'all again. Before I got to my car, Travis slammed me twice, knowing I had just had surgery. I sat in his room and said to him, let me clear it before I ever put my hands on him. And you wasn't there at that point. My brothers are always, in capital letters, gonna come see about me, same way you would for tyranny. At that point, it's out of my control.
This girl just said, my brother's gonna always come see about me. Yeah, Dominique, especially when you lie to them, withhold the truth, and tell them to go shoot somebody else up. And I still don't believe that Travis slammed her on the ground. The video didn't show that, but we did see her putting hands on him multiple times. If she continued doing that and he defended himself, I still wouldn't see a problem with that. Was he just supposed to sit up there and let her tear up everything in the house and put hands on him? Nah, I don't agree with allowing that. And if she did end up on the ground, it was probably her losing balance. She's avoiding the truth, hoping that people won't see that she's the one who initiated and escalated all of this.
What are you saying here?
I'm saying that my brothers are going to come and they're going to see about the situation. That does not mean nothing physical. That does not mean anything violent. But the situation is going to be spoken about because I am his sister.
You did order violence against Travis. You are 100% responsible for all the violence that night. Everything you did to Travis and everything that happened after with Travis, his brother, and your brothers.
Now, were you also comparing that to the relationship that the Rudolph brothers had with their sister?
They've had plenty of disputes and they do the same thing. So
Let me just pause you there.
okay,
Sure.
you can approach.
Feel free to stand up and stretch, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, folks. Just so you know, we're going to finish with direct examination. It shouldn't be more than a few more minutes, and then we're going to call it a night. All right, go ahead, Ms. Edwards.
Okay. So, Ms. Jones, a while ago I was asking you about a message that was on the screen where you were saying that they would protect their sister too.
Right.
You weren't insinuating that Mr. Rudolph was violent or that his brother was violent, correct?
No, protection doesn't always have to lead down to violence. That's what people have to understand.
But it leads up to violence when you tell 4 men to go protect you by shooting his ass up. She would be able to lie like this if she didn't have that message. But Dominique, we all saw what you wrote. You can't make it mean something else now.
All right. Now the next series of messages. All right. Is that a message you received from in blue that would indicate that it's Daryl Rudolph to you, correct?
Okay, yeah, I can't see it though. So you would have to read.
All right. And didn't I just say, Dominique, that I understand why your brothers pulled up? Because you said you they sister, and I never said you or Travis was wrong or right. And when all of that went down, I was holding him back from y'all fighting, but them N-words for pulling up at my mama crib. Honestly, me and damn Travis, it's about my mama at this point. You're wrong as if you're not seeing my point right now. Do you recall receiving that message?
Correct.
And did you respond? Like I said, it's out of my control. Once they heard I was slammed, it was a problem. It was nothing to do with your mom. It's about Travis. Travis don't have his own place, so they went to where he was. It was nothing to do with your mom. Like Travis said, tell them to pull up, and they did. What do you mean Travis said, tell them to pull up, and they did?
So when we're fighting, he's like, have your brothers pull up, like have them pull up, basically.
Dominique is such a big fat liar. And she's really good at omitting things, right? Travis didn't just tell your brothers to pull up. It was Dominique threatening to get her brothers to come over there to get at him. She's acting like Travis was the one challenging her brothers. No, he was responding to you. You booking your brothers for a fight. Then you told them that you and your BBL fell on the ground. But you didn't tell them that you threw his phone. You didn't tell them that you smashed his PlayStation. You didn't tell them that you hit him in the head with a bottle or tried busting out his windows with bricks. Oh yeah, she didn't tell them that she put hands on him.
But I'm thinking in my head already, it's 35 minutes for me to get home. He's not leaving until 35 minutes, so he's not getting there till an hour. So by the time that they even have a conversation, everyone's going to be calm, cool, collective, because it's a whole hour in between from the fight.
So the question was, what does pull up mean in that context?
Pull up means in that context to pull to the house.
So to drive or come to the house.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. At some point, do you also text Mr. Rudolph, Daryl? It says 2:27 a.m. So this is after the incident. Is that
correct?
You're going to jail. You killed someone.
Yes.
Did you mean that he personally was going to jail?
Yes.
All right. And then he responds, "Get off my phone. You sent them N-words over here to jump me at my house when my mother was here and I was trying to defuse the situation. Whatever y'all got going on, don't bring that to my house. I didn't ever do a thing to you, Dominique, or anybody. I've been in my room minding my business. The you mean you kill, you going to jail."
Mm-hmm.
Is that the end of, and is that a yes?
Yes.
Is that the end of your conversation with Daryl that day?
Correct.
Okay.
No, I'm lying. I'm not lying, but no, that isn't the.
Yeah, you're lying. You've been lying the whole time. Just like you lied to your brothers that night. One, you did not send anybody over there to have a conversation. And you did not think those guys would be calm an hour later. How are they calm and having conversations going to somebody's house in the middle of the night? No, they went over there to shoot his ass up like you instructed them to do. She's acting like she set up some type of conversation. And then now they're showing this evidence of her texting Travis's brother Daryl, gaslighting him at 2:30 in the morning. This is one dirty, evil, wicked witch. Again, why is she not locked up now? It sounds like she was also trying to implicate his brother.
Is that the end of, and is that a yes?
Yes.
Is that the end of your conversation with Daryl that day?
Correct.
Okay.
No, I'm lying. I'm not lying, but no, that isn't the end of the conversation. There's a part missing. I called them before I sent that text message.
Okay.
Because I still did not understand that Travis shot at my brother.
So you're trying to put everything together and figure out why he's sending these messages?
Exactly. So I'm at the hospital, right? I got a text message on Instagram from Tyler's older brother saying, "Do you know what hospital he's at?" So I'm still not thinking that Travis or any of them did anything to him. I'm thinking something might have happened because Lake Park is a dangerous city. So I'm thinking something might have happened or anything like that. So I'm like, no, what hospital is he at? He's like, he got shot. He's at St. Mary's. So I flew to St. Mary's Hospital and Tyler's mom was there and said they got shot at. The car was shot up. And then once I got there, they told me when Tyler went into surgery, he said, make sure Keyshawn's okay. So then I called Daryl and I'm like, what happened? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm so confused. Like, did somebody try to shoot at them? Like, I'm still not even accusing them of shooting at them.
So that's before this last message. Right?
That's before the last message where I said, you're going to jail. You killed somebody.
So that's what you're saying. There's something missing, meaning that telephone conversation.
Exactly. That telephone conversation obviously isn't there. So I called Daryl's number and I'm like, what's going on? Like, why? I'm at the hospital. Where's Keyshawn? Like, I don't know where anyone is. And Travis is just in the background like, that bitch, hang up on that bitch. I don't give a
Travis was right. Get off the phone. You have no reason to talk to her. She's the enemy. She sent 4 guys over there with guns. I don't know why she's acting like Travis should be nice to her at that point. No, he should not want to talk to you. And he shouldn't want his family talking to you either. If the police was coming, let them come. But there shouldn't have been any conversation with Dominique at that point.
Sustain.
Judge, it's a party opponent.
Sustain.
All right. So at some point, are you actually at St. Mary's?
Yes.
Okay. And do you eventually get interviewed by law enforcement?
Yes.
Did you also find out that Sebastian had passed away?
Yes, my little brother called me. He was crying. He said Sebastian passed away.
At that point, were you having any conversations about the details of what had happened?
Not necessarily. He was trying to rush. The car was so shot up that he couldn't drive to the hospital.
Just lies. The car was so shot up, but they kept riding around and took over an hour to get medical attention for their friend when the nearest hospital was only 2 minutes away.
It is a narrative question. Answer.
I'm just trying to explain.
So just
myself.
without
No.
explaining,
Okay.
if you
Just
could
answer the question.
Answer the question
Perfect.
related to whether or not you spoke to your brother about all the details that had happened at that point.
No.
Okay. So at some later point is when you had that conversation.
Correct.
All right. I want to talk briefly about marriage. Okay. Have you ever been married?
Yes, I have.
And was that to Mr. Rudolph?
No.
Was it to another man?
Yes.
Was Mr. Rudolph aware of your relationship with that other man?
Correct. Not
that
the
a yes?
marriage, but he wasn't knowledgeable about the marriage, but he was knowledgeable about the relationship.
And at the time you started the relationship with Mr. Rudolph, were you and your, I guess, husband at the time still living together as a married couple?
No, we were separated. I was at his house every day, every single second of the day. And if I wasn't there, I was at my own home.
So what happened between you and your husband? Had you been broken up?
Yeah, we were legally separated. We're just separated.
All right. So you weren't together in that relationship anymore. So this relationship with Mr. Rudolph was not, quote, cheating.
No, I haven't spoken to him, and I haven't spoken to that man that I was married to until this incident happened. He reached out to me.
All right. And at some point you have become legally divorced.
Yeah, I'm divorced. That was the plan from way back then.
So before even Mr.
Before even anything, it just personally wasn't my business to tell or to expose to anybody else. You know what I mean? And I felt like I didn't need to. Whatever happened in the past is the past, and I don't need to bring that into new relationships. That's how I felt.
It was your business to tell. You should have told Travis that you had a husband, separated or not. Like, what is this bimbo talking about?
Were you trying to deceive Mr. Rudolph by not telling him about the marriage that was now in shambles, essentially?
No, there's no deception. You can look up a marriage. There's no deception at all.
Had you ever been asked by Mr. Rudolph directly about any marriage?
What's the legal objection? Overruled.
Had you been asked about being married to the gentleman that he knew you were in a relationship with before him?
No, I told him everything about the relationship, but no, I never told him I was married, but he never asked.
All right.
Nothing, I mean nothing is ever her fault. She's putting on Travis, saying that he didn't ask her or he didn't look it up. You see how stupid this is? Do you think if the roles were reversed and it was Travis that was married and didn't tell her, how much of a big deal that would be?
And you are clear, you and that gentleman were no longer in a romantic sexual relationship?
At all, for 2 years. Way prior to me and Travis.
One moment, Judge.
You may have a moment.
During your interaction with Daryl Rudolph on the day of this incident, the text messages that we saw and your phone conversation, did he ever tell you about your brother or anyone else pulling guns on him? It's relevant hearsay, and it's not hearsay.
It is hearsay, and you're going to have to come up on this. I'll tell you what. No, let's approach. I want to finish direct examination, folks, before I let you go tonight.
Ms. Jones, as you were speaking to Daryl Rudolph, was he still upset?
When?
So that break in the conversation in the text messages where you're calling and asking what's going on, did he appear to still be upset as he's talking to you?
Well, that's what I was trying to say previously when you guys had said hearsay. Travis was the main person talking.
All right.
I'm responding because Travis.
Oh, stop, Ms. Jones. All right. Just answer the question. Did he appear to you to be upset?
Travis, Daryl wasn't talking. Travis was the one talking.
No. Different.
Did
that's-
Daryl say any words to you? As you were asking him, what is going on?
They're both yelling at the same time, but the person that I'm hearing is Travis.
Okay.
She won't simply answer the question.
So if you could stop for me. You said they're both yelling. Is one of the persons Daryl that's yelling?
I can't really recall.
Okay. Whom did you call?
I called Daryl's phone because
Not the because, just who did you call?
Daryl.
Okay. And as you said, you called Daryl. There's yelling in the background. You identify Mr. Rudolph's voice. What about Daryl Rudolph?
He's there. I just don't recall if he's upset, if he's angry. I think he is angry, saying like, oh, you had them pull up to my mama's house, and like they were saying something like that, dreadhead, like stuff like that.
So just so we're clear, did you delete any messages between you and Daryl Rudolph that had anything to do with any firearms?
No.
Did you ever receive any messages from Daryl Rudolph as he was angrily sending you those texts about a firearm?
No.
The messages with tyranny, those are already in evidence. We did not go through them, but were those also angry messages?
Yes.
And what was the substance of the messages?
Anyone pull up to her mom's house is gonna die.
Okay. And did you interpret that as a threat?
I interpret it as a threat, but I feel like people say things when they're angry, so I didn't take it literal.
So you did not think your brother was going to die if he went over?
No, I didn't. Like, she just invited him to the wedding. I'm thinking it's just, I don't know. I didn't take that literal.
All right. One moment.
Why is she talking about a wedding when you sent your 4 brothers over there with guns? Ma'am, it wasn't wedding time. It was hammer time.
No further questions.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long day, so we're going to take a break for the night.
We're at the end of part 2. So far, we've seen direct examination. Dominique is the state's witness. The prosecutor, she's been asking these questions and helping Dominique set up her lies. The biggest lie today is that she didn't want her brothers going over there for violence. She wanted them to just have a conversation in the middle of the night. Never mind that message that she sent to all of them, telling them to go over there and shoot Travis's ass up. I really want to get into the cross-examination. If you want me to continue this review, drop part 3 below in the comments. I'll leave you with the judge who wrapped everything up for that day. Remember to take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click that notification bell for all updates.
I have to thank Judge Weiss on the record because she once again is going to take my morning docket. So that means we can get started very shortly after 8. If you all are here by 8 o'clock and sign up downstairs as soon as all of you are assembled wherever Deputy Lubinsky instructs, then we'll get started. Now, you've heard a whole bunch of evidence up to this point, so that point is at this point we're good. We're good to go. However, you haven't heard it all yet, so you need to keep an open mind. Don't form any fixed opinions at this point in time. The time to do that is when you get back there for deliberations. Again, no research, no discussion about this case or the people involved with anyone, including amongst yourselves. Now, because you're going to be going home, you might, it's possible you'll run into one of us out on the street. I don't know. But in any event, we will duck you, you duck us, and then everything will be fine. Do not communicate with anyone about this case. Also, I strongly encourage you, I do not order it, but I strongly encourage that you disable any apps that you may have for news, news reporting or and if you can, stay off social media because you never know, something might show up on social media as well. The last thing any of us wants is for you to be exposed to anything improper with respect to this case that would result in a mistrial. All right, stay safe, folks. See you as soon after 8 o'clock as we can tomorrow. For the day, yes. Yeah, you're going to have to come back again tomorrow. Yes. 8 o'clock. Yes, ma'am.